Hello and welcome to my meditation. I am so delighted that you have joined me. My name is Debra Baker, and we are going to spend the next few moments just relaxing our bodies and feeling peaceful. Doesn't that sound wonderful? As always, we begin with 3 really nice deep breaths. Let's begin with a cleansing breath. So fill up your lungs as much as you can and then blow it out. Once more, and then really have a slow exhale this next time. There we go. So I'm asking my guides, how should we relax our bodies? What technique should we use today? And what I'm getting is that we should do the tense and release. So what that does is it increases the blood flow to different parts of our bodies and helps us to relax. It also, when we get the blood flow going to our extremities, it calms our brains a little. So let's begin with our feet. Curl your toes in. Tense all your feet muscles as much as you can. And then let it go. It helps if when you tense up and you hold it for a second and then you release it with an exhale. So let's do the lower legs. Pull your toes up toward your knees and kind of tighten up the muscles in your shins. The muscles that we don't think about tensing up. And then let it go, and then do the opposite. Point your toes, tighten up your shins, or your calves. So the goal is for our muscles to be in a neutral position, neither tensed nor, stretched too far. So now let's, it's tricky with the knees because the knees don't really have a tighten and release. So let's try pushing our knees together, like we were taught in grade school, all of us little girls. Push your knees together and just kind of tighten that, and let it go. And now tighten the muscles in the backs of your upper legs. So whether that's pulling your feet toward your glutes, or however that works, just thinking about tensing them up. And then let go, and then straighten your legs and pull your toes up, and tighten up your quads, the muscles on the fronts of your upper legs. And now just take a nice deep breath and imagine that oxygen going all the way down to the tip of your toes. Yeah. Okay, now let's tighten all of the muscles in our pelvic floors. So tighten up your glutes, pull your pelvic floor up, your lower torso. Imagine like pulling the muscles around your sit bones. It's a nice breezy day here in Kansas. It's actually quite lovely right now. And then let your pelvic floor release. And let's do the pelvis. So imagine like your pelvic girdle is what they call all of the muscles around your pelvis. So imagine kind of pulling in your sides, your glutes, your lower abdomen, and just pull it all in there, kind of give your internal organs a squeeze, and then let them go. And now let's go to the midsection and just pull all of the muscles around your midsection and squeeze your organs around your midsection, sides, back, tummy. And then let it go. Let's do our hands next. So clench your hands tightly. And then let them go. Just let them go to a neutral position, not straight, although you can stretch it out, that feels good, but then let them return to a neutral position. And then pull your hands toward your elbows, or your fingertips toward your biceps to tighten the inner, the lower arm muscles. Let it go, and then move your hand the opposite way and tighten the muscles on the tops of your lower arm. And let that go. And now your biceps, pull those tightly, so you pull your hands to your shoulders and tighten that up. And then straighten your arms up and pull your hands behind you. It helps to kind of push your hands like this. Imagine like pushing back against a wall or something. Really tighten up your triceps. Oh, that feels so good. And now we're at our rib cage. So imagine tightening up everything around your rib cage. And as you exhale, kind of tighten it, because it's kind of counterintuitive to fill up your lungs and tighten it. So for this one, let's imagine as we exhale, kind of tightening all those muscles around your rib cage. And then let it go. It's one big bug. And now let's bring our shoulders up, our shoulders up to our necks, to our ears. Squeeze it and let it go. And now pull your chin forward gently. Imagine you're squeezing a grapefruit or something between your chin and your chest. And then to the back, squeeze the muscles gently in the back of your neck. And if you want to do each side, I like to do that. Oh, yeah. And now let's scrunch up the muscles in our faces. Squeeze all the muscles in your face. And then let it go. Now just take a moment to feel that sense of relaxation. Doesn't it feel wonderful? So what we're doing this week is we are continuing our exploration of the promises. And most people probably didn't know that there was a list of promises associated with the 12 steps. So in other words, if you work the 12 steps diligently, there are certain things that are promised. And the one that we are on today is, we will know peace. Doesn't that sound wonderful? And if you work the 12 steps, you understand, and if you don't, I'll give you a little glimpse. Part of it is about, making an inventory of yourself and coming to terms with who you are and accepting yourself exactly as you are, and coming to terms with, your past, whatever it was, and accepting that it is what it is. And just those two things bring a measure of peace. And then just constantly focusing on peace, because we know what we focus on increases. So let's think of peace. What does peace mean to you? Growing up as I did during the Vietnam War, peace meant the absence of war. And I didn't really understand much more about peace than that. And as an adult, peace means so much more than the absence of war. I don't even think of really the absence of war as associated with peace anymore. I think of it more as internal peace. So let's imagine, we just, relaxed our bodies. Let's imagine that with this next breath, we breathe peace in all the way down to our root chakra. So the root chakra is all about the physical experience, the human body. So picture your favorite shade of red. Breeze feels wonderful. And breathing into that shade of red and knowing that all is well. All is well. And just breathe into your tailbone a few times. And each time that you exhale, release a little bit of your angst or your resistance or anything about you, about your body especially, that doesn't feel peaceful maybe right now. And now let's breathe into our second chakras, which are orange. The second chakra, which is located midway between the tailbone and the navel. So right there in the middle of your pelvis. Breathe into that and think about the color orange, your favorite shade of orange. And the sacral chakra is all about creativity. It's about kind of life force energy. It's about procreativity. So that's the second chakra, is located where our sex organs are. And sex is associated in a healthy way with zeal and like a love of life, a zest for life. You know, and the color orange is bright and cheerful. So let's breathe in and grab onto some of that happy peace, that joyful peace. The peace that comes from when you're doing something creative and you are just on a roll and you kind of lose track of time, that Kairos time. Kairos means in Greek there are two types of time: Chronos, which is chronological time, and Kairos time, which is kind of like this sense of timeless time, which I feel like we reach when we are doing things that are creative and we're completely immersed in it. And if you don't have anything in your life like that right now, I encourage you in the next week, or maybe the rest of today, or tomorrow, to find something that really trips your trigger, that really gets your juices, your creative juices flowing. And now let's breathe into the solar plexus chakra, the third chakra, which is yellow, right there, right above your navel. Imagine breathing peace into this. And the solar plexus chakra is very interesting because it's to me the one that most illustrates the yin and the yang of a chakra, because it's the place where we store courage and the place where we store fear. So let's breathe peace into it and become at peace with our fear. I would say the most common type of fear is worry, which I've discussed many times is useless. However, sometimes it just seems to sneak up on us and catch us unaware, and it's hard to shake the thoughts. So let's breathe peace into our worry and know that the universe has our backs, that we are one with the infinite presence, the one presence and the one power. Our lives, everything about us, every cell in our body, every aspect of our lives is in divine order. Nothing happens in this world by accident. And so we let go of any sort of hypervigilance, like, oh, I've got to take care of this, I've got to take care of that, I've got to make sure it happens.
brother.
Sorry, I thought I had stopped it. I needed to move it to get myself out of the sun. So we are letting go of any sort of worry and hypervigilance, and I try to do my best to make sure that these recordings are, as good as I can make them. So it's interesting that I neglected to push pause when I moved my camera, and hopefully your eyes are closed and you didn't see all that jiggliness. And we just trust the infinite. We settle into our faith. We know that the universe is working for our highest good, and all is well. And so now let's breathe into our heart space. Pull your shoulders back a little bit and sense your heart space being open. And just breathe into it. Our heart chakra is where we hold love and sorrow, where we hold grief and loss, and where we hold a sense of contentment and fulfillment. And so when we think of peace, when I think of peace, I think of those moments when I look around the table at Thanksgiving and I see almost all of my loved ones there, and I just feel this profound sense of well-being. We haven't had everybody there in quite a while, but we've come close. And just, my heart is full. My siblings travel across country every year to spend Thanksgiving with my family, and I'm just so grateful for that. It makes my heart full. And now let's breathe into the throat chakra. The throat chakra is all about communication. It's also about expressing our truth, feeling free to express our truth, feeling supported, having a voice. So just breathe peace into it and know that if you are one of those people, like I can be occasionally, I have a hard time speaking up for myself, know that you can make it safe for yourself. People talk about getting out of your comfort zone, and I like to think about expanding your comfort zone so that it feels safe to speak up. And one of the little ideas that I have about speaking up is that I try to lead with my vulnerability. So if I'm having a difficult conversation, I'd like to start out with saying, this is difficult for me. This is hard for me to bring up, or whatever. And so now we breathe into our third eye chakra, which is about seeing the truth. And we ask the infinite to guide our sight to see what we want more of, to see beauty and love and wonder, and to see less of the news or whatever it is that might cause you stress. And now let's breathe into our crown chakra, which is our connection to the infinite. And know that we are infinite beings having a human experience. And we deserve peace in our lives. And we create it when we focus on things that are peaceful. We create it when we focus on things that give us a sense of well-being, a sense of comfort, when we focus on love, when we love ourselves. So one more nice deep breath. I want to remind you that you are whole and perfect exactly exactly as you are. The infinite presence is moving in, through, and as you all the time. And that presence in me honors and recognizes that presence in you, as you. Namaste.